Ozarks in 5, brought to you by Talking Rocks Cavern. Explore the beauty above and below ground at Talking Rocks Cavern. The Springfield-Greene County Park Board reminding you to go play. And Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service. Call Southwest Missouri's best plumber today for a free estimate. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Forhetz.
Howdy, howdy. Good morning.
How's it
going?
Friday.
It's Friday. We made it to Friday, which is fantastic. It's going to get chilly again, so get ready for that. But it's still Friday, chilly or not.
How bad can it be, right?
I made chili last week, by the way.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
No doubt. Really kicked off the winter season here in the Forhetz household with that chili. All right. We have some news for you this morning. First off, a 21-year-old Marine veteran from Springfield has lost his life fighting to help Ukrainians defend themselves against Russia's invasion. Ethan Hertwick was killed volunteering to fight with Ukraine. Hertwick was on his second mission there and was set to come home just days after his death. Instead, he is in his eternal home. His parents say he was a Christian young man. They are struggling now to get his remains sent home, a process that could take months. Hertwick was the youngest Marine at his boot camp at 17 years old. Incredible.
Yeah, he sounds like he was an incredible young man. I was reading about it, what his parents were saying about him. He served as a Marine for several months and then was honorably discharged because of a rare blood disorder, which upset him because he felt at home in the military. That's what he wanted to do. So that led him to go volunteer. It's the second time over there to volunteer with Ukraine. He was trained as a medic to work with them, and he was tending to medically another volunteer who was wounded whenever he was killed. So it's a sad deal. And then it was sad, really, to read about how long it takes to repatriate his body. It takes months because of Ukraine's laws, and so there's really no closure until he gets home and they can have a military funeral. And so it's tough.
And you were reading stuff from the actual military. I watched a local news story on it, and I was just thankful of his parents' faith because, man, that's hard. 21 years old.
Well,
but just an eternal perspective changes everything.
Yeah, it does. It does. And they have that. So it's a lot more peace than maybe you would have otherwise. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Now to this. There are now 3. Missouri State University has named their short list in the search for their next president to take over for President Cliff Smart, who is retiring this summer. It'll either be John Jasinski, who has been MSU's provost since 2022, Roger Thompson, who is at the University of Oregon as VP of Student Services and Enrollment, or Richard Williams, who's the president of Utah Tech University. So one of those 3, they're all going to be visiting the Missouri State campus in Springfield and West Plains next month. Hopefully they have some nice weather.
It's interesting. I thought they were going to get it down to a Final 4. And they ended up doing a Final 3, which makes it easier.
Hey, no need to take 4 if you know that you're not interested in 4.
Well, I just like the alliteration of Final 4.
For the presidential search or the basketball game, I was just wondering.
Yeah, either one. Final 4. Good. It just has it flows. April election will be here soon enough. And with that comes warmer weather. Another big race for Springfield School Board is going to be going on in April. 3 seats are up for grabs. They're held by incumbents. So voters will choose their top picks between incumbent Scott Kreis, who works with Associated Electric Co-op, Daniel Kincaid.
Danielle.
Oh, yes.
When you said Daniel, I thought male, but
yeah. Danielle Kincaid, who's an incumbent with the Elder Law Group. She's not an incumbent there. She's an incumbent on the school board. Also incumbent Dr. Miriam Muhammad Khani, a retired pathologist. And then Landon McCarter is running, works with Secure Agent Marketing. Susan Province, retired teacher and coach. Chad Rollins, pharmacist. and Kyler Sherman Wilkins, who is a professor at Missouri State. So a lot of interest in the school board these days.
Yeah, I think it's good. I kind of like the number of candidates and just like their campaigns to see where they stand on issues and I don't know, academia. I don't know. I think it's interesting because it affects so many students. Forever. Like I still remember, right?
Affects the future of the country. Absolutely. So it makes sense that people are involved and care now. I'm not saying they didn't care, but large numbers didn't appear to care for a long time.
Yeah.
This is good. All right. There's another run at getting rid of Missouri's personal property taxes. Some legislators, once again, working on that. It happens, it seems, every legislative session. They give it a try. The bill's sponsor, Senator Bill Eigel, Republican from Weldon Spring, wants to, quote, slowly lower the assessment rate on personal property tax so that you don't have to pay rent to the government every December 1st for the crime of owning a car.
Wasn't that a funny quote? That's why I like to leave it as a quote, because that's hilarious.
It's a pretty good quote and makes some sense. Personal property is currently assessed at a third of its real value, and then local governments tax that assessed value, which goes to funding local schools, libraries, and fire districts. The bill could include money from the state to local governments that lose money because of the cut.
Yeah.
Several bills over the years have tried to get rid of personal property taxes in Missouri, but so far have not yet been turned into law.
Yes, and I can tell you, in living in a state with no personal property tax, which so did Ethan, right? You were in Florida without the personal property tax. I was in Texas.
Florida, Nevada, Illinois.
Yes, I was in Texas, and it was lovely. It was delightful.
Well, they get you
because it actually made a difference.
They get you one way or another because in Illinois, and I forget Nevada, Michigan, Florida, but in Illinois, it costs a lot of money to get license plates. And in Missouri, it may not cost a lot of money to get license plates if your car isn't worth much, right?
Right.
So I mean, they get you somewhere. You're gonna pay the taxes, and they're gonna get you. But it was funny the other day. Griffin and I were in the car, and I don't know what prompted the discussion, but he was asking about taxes, and I was going to pay my quarterly taxes, and I waited till the last day to go put it in the mailbox. He was asking about that, and then we were talking about personal property taxes, and 10-year-old boy was like, so wait a minute, you bought the car and paid taxes on it? And I was like, yep. And he said, but then you still have to keep paying taxes like every year?
Out of the mouth of babes.
On the car that you bought and on the house that you own? You have to.
I wonder who his dad is.
Welcome to life, pal.
He sounds 100% like you. I can hear.
Well, it's a logical
10-year-old
question.
Ethan saying the same thing.
Well, and I said, buddy, I can't explain it. But that's where we are.
I meanwhile am parenting myself too. I have a mini me, as it turns out. I mean, everything about her personality, mannerisms, how she, interacts with her friends, and like, oh my goodness, it's terrifying. It's terrifying.
Well, you did okay.
Lord help me.
So, yeah.
What?
You did okay in life.
I turned out okay eventually.
Yeah. I mean, look at me. You got me.
I married up. That is the truth.
One more thing about Griffin. He was like, what happens if you don't pay him? And I said, buddy, I've thought of that, but it's probably not worth it. Like, you go to jail and you got to pay it. You eventually pay it back.
And then you pay even more. Yes. All right. Switching gears now. The Andy's Frozen Custard on Battlefield Road is closing. You got about, I think, 9 more days to go there, and then it's closed. Apparently, that was the plan all along. They opened that tiny little shop there on Battlefield across from the mall to satisfy customers, to make money while they were building bigger buildings. And that they have done. They have some newer, bigger ones now on South Glenstone, South National, and many more across the city. So that one is shutting down. And just in case you're curious, Andy's now has 144 stores in 15 states.
So the little one that's across from Commerce Bank there, it's in front of the strip mall.
Yep, that's it.
Where
that's
the
one.
Where the cafeteria used to be, Heritage.
Yeah.
Okay, so that'll okay. So there'll probably be a coffee shop or something that move in there because it's a cute little usable space, right?
It's a cute little building. I'll tell you that much.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder what
be another
kind
7
of
brew
business they did. You know?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Because to me, it seems forgotten. That space seems forgotten. You know? I don't know. Maybe not. I mean, it's no doubt a busy road, obviously, but it just seems like a forgotten space. But You're right. 7 brew. Yes, please. Set up shop. I love it. Okay, now to this. If you have an Apple Watch, it may no longer monitor your blood oxygen level. If it's a newer watch, the older models are still fine. Apple has been in a court battle of sorts, and the ruling is that Massimo was the first with that technology. So there's been a patent dispute, and at least for now, Apple is losing, but it's not over. They are appealing, and Apple feels like they're going to win eventually, and maybe they are. So if you go buy a watch, you will still see the feature, the blood oxygen feature on there. But if you click into it, it'll say this technology is not currently available. But they went ahead and put it on the watches because they're pretty confident they're going to win. And then if they do, then the feature is already on the watch.
I don't understand
I just quoted that case from memory because I wrote a script and I didn't read it. So I hope that I got all of that right, but I thought it was fascinating. And so I read this whole long thing on it. And there you go. There it is in a nutshell.
Okay. All right. I don't know how. I don't
lawyer,
understand.
But I pretend to be one on TV.
Okay. Price of stamps is going up once again. It'll happen on Sunday. Forever stamps going from 66 to 68 cents a piece. Forever stamps of course, are good forever, they say. No matter when you bought them for whatever price, you can mail it at that rate today. They were 41 cents when they first came out in 2007. So somebody who bought up all... What
other significant event happened in 2007 that we had to buy a ton of stamps for? Our wedding. Glad you remembered. It was the best day of your life. Sans salvation. But we got married in 2007. I actually remember when the very first Forever stamp came out, we bought cute ones and sent out our wedding invitation with the first edition of the Forever stamp.
I didn't realize that. Yeah. I remember the wedding.
You know why I remember it is because I was on the morning show at the time at Dark 30. And I remember doing a story on the Forever stamp, the first ever Forever stamp. And then I can remember buying them for the wedding invitations.
Because you had to explain what a Forever stamp was.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had to learn the ropes about the story. So
I just bought a bunch more because we did Christmas cards. So I had to buy a bunch of Christmassy.
So I don't actually believe in Christmas cards, but Ethan does. And so here's what happened. Ethan was like, we're doing Christmas cards this year. I was like, no, we're not. It's like December 23rd. And he's like, look, babe, look how cute they are. Oh, and here's the list of names that I need you to find the addresses for. Oh, I loathe sending out Christmas cards because
I'll tell you why.
My friends are not listening. Listen, if my friends are listening, I just want you to know that I think your family is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. But I don't keep Christmas cards. I look at them and I toss them.
Yeah, nobody keeps them.
But then it feels like a waste of money. It feels like a waste of money at that point.
It's a gesture to say season's greetings.
Yeah. I'm a quality time person. And so I will buy you a coffee and it'll be great. And we'll chat over coffee. But I don't know. There's something about sending out a picture of your cute family. Doesn't it feel like a bit what if they don't have a cute family and they wanted a cute family for Christmas and they didn't get I don't know. I worry about.
Don't send them a card.
These things.
Don't send them a card. Yeah. Your problem is that you literally don't write down anybody's address. So once I get an address one time, it's in my phone. Now I have the address so that next year, whenever I ask myself, Ethan, what's that address? I have it. I don't have to go find it or text people like you have to do.
Yes.
Year in and year out. It's the same people. They haven't moved. It's just literally the same people, and they haven't moved.
If you did not get a Christmas card from me and you're my friend and you are listening, it's because you were not on Ethan's list, but you would have been on mine. You would have been on mine.
If you had one.
If I had one. But I don't.
Kansas City Chiefs are considering taking Sky Moore off the injured reserve list, wide receiver who could be helpful as the playoffs continue. Hurt his knee back in December, missed the last 4 games. He hasn't lived up to expectations even before the injury, but you're saying there's a chance. The Chiefs kick off in Buffalo, 5:30 on Sunday. It's going to be brutally cold there.
It
probably
can't
not
be worse than it was last weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people won't go to the hospital cold like they did in Kansas City. But the issue, again, in Buffalo is going to be the snow. They get that lake effect snow, and they're expecting a bunch more of it. So, they're pretty good at the stadium at clearing out the snow now. They've done it enough times.
Yeah.
But, a snowy field could be an issue for the Chiefs. So
it's interesting. A friend of mine that I was running with yesterday morning was telling me that her boys went to the game and they were fine. I cannot stand still cold. I can't do it.
Yeah,
like
that'd be brutal.
I'm like, I have to go run mileage. I've got to move because I get nervous. Like I'm going to lose my toes. I'm going to lose my fingers. I can't feel anything,
Yeah, it's pretty miserable.
Yeah. All right. This weekend, if your pet needs a vaccine or microchip, you can head out to a low-cost vaccine clinic tomorrow at the Humane Society. Saturday morning, 10 a.m. at their building on West Norton Road. Individual vaccines will be $12. You can actually get them cheaper than that if you get more than the one because they have packages. And microchips are $20 each. Right. There you go. What? Why are you looking at me?
Well, you got another story to read.
Oh, me?
Yeah,
I thought you were reading it. And This makes sense. This is an Ethan story, but I'll read it for you. It's fine. The Moxie is showing The Wizard of Oz this weekend. It's tomorrow at noon. They are showing multiple movies over the next few months that they have dubbed must-sees for kids before they turn 13.
Oh, I like that.
I like it too. I love the idea, but I was deprived apparently as a child because I'm recognizing that I have seen the Wizard of Oz, but I haven't seen any of the other ones. In February, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, never seen it. March is The Red Balloon, never even heard of it. Apparently it came out in 1956 and is a must-see. And finally, in April, they are showing Modern Times, came out in 1936. Haven't seen that one either. So I don't know what rock I lived under, but I enjoyed it.
Well, I was under the same rock because I, of course, have seen Wizard of Oz. I haven't seen the other 3. In 1980,
maybe
you would have guessed that I would have seen Pee-wee's Big. I didn't like Pee-wee Herman. He was
weird.
I was too old, I think, for Pee-wee Herman during that.
He's strange.
Yeah, in '85, I wasn't a Pee-wee guy, so.
And I was barely born.
Nor am I today. He just passed away. I think he died last year.
Oh, did he?
Pee-wee
my
Herman.
goodness.
Yeah,
oh, I'm sorry now. Now I feel bad for.
Red Balloon, I've never heard of. And nor have I heard of Modern Times from 1936.
I do feel like moviegoers, especially ones at the Moxie, know a thing or two about movies. And so maybe we should go.
I don't think so.
No, you've survived this long.
Wizard of Oz, that'd be fun.
I do enjoy The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
I do. It's been a minute, but okay.
All right.
Well, happy Friday. Big gulps.
Happy Friday.
See you later.
It's going to get cold, so make sure you tune into Abby Dyer's Wake Up Weather and have a fantastic weekend.
Yeah. We
are actually both in town this weekend, and It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Yes. There's a first time for everything.
So
theme song.
We will enjoy the weekend, and we'll see you back here Monday morning.
Bye.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Scooters Coffee and Rescue Towing. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Or is it a sad Friday? Because we've got the really cold temperatures back. Wow. Back to the deep freeze today. That's the big story for you on this Friday, January 19th. We have temperatures in the single digits. Wah, wah, wah. We are heading back into the Arctic as we get closer to the weekend forecast. Temperatures starting off in the single digits. We will only warm to the teens for most today, 18 degrees. The forecasted high temperature comes along with a stout northwest wind at 20 miles an hour, a wind chill advisory through tomorrow afternoon. And yes, some of you are waking up to a little bit of new winter weather. That's primarily up along and north of Highway 54, where we saw some snow showers overnight. So definitely some slick spots possible still this morning. Also, if you still had any snow lingering around on some of the side streets, the untreated areas, or the places that weren't shoveled, there could be some slick spots again this morning with some refreezing of the slushy spots. So keep that in mind on your way out the door. It's just going to be downright cold again today. I don't have any winter weather in the forecast, so I guess at least that's some good news for you. We are back to the deep freeze, though, so bundle up. Again, today you need all of the winter layers, and with that wind chill advisory in place, it's really just another one of those days where it's dangerous to be outside. It's dangerous to have your skin exposed for any amount of time. So if you have to get out today, make sure you dress in layers. We want everybody to stay safe and warm. Don't let your guard down. This is dangerous winter weather. Some of you might even want to drip those faucets again if you're concerned about that overnight tonight, as low temperatures fall back to the low single digits, about 2 degrees for the low temperature tonight. The weather setup, it shows that a cold front pushed through the Ozarks yesterday. It allowed for all that Arctic air to be in place overnight. Central Missouri seeing a new little coating of snowfall, dusting to an inch to our friends to the north, and we are now dealing with the cold weather. We have some sunshine in the forecast today, but it's not going to be a nice day to get outdoors. I promise you that. Wind chill advisory through noon tomorrow. That's for everybody in the Ozarks and almost the entire state of Missouri and Arkansas. We're seeing some really cold temperatures in Arkansas today, too. You're not getting left out of this one. We will stay rain and snow free for the remainder of today, but I have some weekend weather that you will really want to pay attention to the forecast for. So don't let this be the last time you listen to the weather forecast before this weekend. Check back in on the website around here on Sunday night, because there could be some freezing rain potential moving back into the Ozarks as our next push of moisture comes through. The weekend forecast is just looking cold. I think we stay dry today, tomorrow, and on Sunday during the daylight hours. Sunday night, though, we start to see the cloud cover increase and temperatures could be cold enough that we could support some freezing rain for a period of time through Sunday night, lasting through early in the day on Monday, maybe even through Monday afternoon. Before all of this starts to melt, the temperatures warm up and we see the freezing rain turn into rain. Any amount of freezing rain, though, can cause some problems. And here's the other issue. With temperatures today at 18 degrees, lows tonight near 2 degrees, and then highs tomorrow in the low teens, we are talking a rock solid frozen ground. So anything that does fall as freezing rain Sunday night into Monday morning, it's going to stick immediately. So impacts will be seen from this, perhaps for the Monday morning commute. This is something you'll really want to watch. And I mentioned the good news here. It's that temperatures warm up through most of next week. So our freezing rain will transition over into just rainfall, but it could cause some problems before that transition actually happens. And temperatures will be critical on Sunday. So make sure you're watching that number. Check the forecasted temperature. Check your thermometer before you head outside. Make sure it's not below 32 degrees, because if it is, chances are what you're getting is freezing rain, and there are slick spots all over the place. Next week, we are warmer. That is going to be a welcome warm up in the Ozarks after really almost 2 full weeks of really cold below average temperatures through the middle of the month. January does look to end on a warmer note. I think we will be below freezing for a period of time on Monday of next week. And then really the rest of next week looks okay. We'll get this soaking rainfall through Tuesday, and temperatures will be much, much better. We could see some potential for some ice here in the Ozarks, but we're not the only ones talking ice headlines. Last night, in fact, we had some ice reported in the Nashville area. They had record snowfall, typically what they get in a season, all in just 2 days last week. And now they're dealing with some ice early this morning. So it's slow going in Tennessee this morning. We also have ice in the headlines for the Northwest, the Pacific Northwest, seeing some ice after a snowstorm there too. And then another bitter cold weekend is in store for us here in the Midwest. That's going to be making national headlines over the weekend too. Iowa is going to see a temperature close to like minus 24 degrees. It's going to be crazy. That happens later tonight. We have heavy lake effect snow then continuing for much of the Great Lakes. So winter is still staking claim on our weekend across the country, definitely here in the Ozarks and really all across the country too. Even those Texans are getting in on some of the cold, and they've been dripping their faucets too. And another little reinforcing shot of cold air comes through for them this weekend also. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister question. This is the question that I left you with yesterday. Which of these soft drinks has the least amount of caffeine? Mountain Dew, 0 sugar. B, Coca-Cola with coffee. C, Pepsi, 0 sugar. Or D, regular Mountain Dew. The least amount of caffeine. Winner goes to the least likely suspect here. Can you believe it is regular Mountain Dew? D, the answer. It contains less caffeine than Mountain Dew, 0 sugar, Coca-Cola with coffee, or Pepsi, 0 sugar. Believe it or not, Coca-Cola with coffee has the least amount of coffee out of all of these. No, thank you. Give me the coffee, straight, black. I'll take all the caffeine. Thank you very much. So congrats. If you picked D, that was the answer today. You could get a cup of coffee at Scooters if you entered that on the website, aroundtheozarks.com. Here's another chance to win a $20 gift card to Scooters Coffee. This is the question that I'll answer for you on Monday. Portland, Oregon. They've had some wild weather. They've been in the headlines the last couple of days for snowfall and now ice. So let's do a question about them, shall we? Here it is. The city of Portland, Oregon almost had a different name, but the founders settled the name dispute by playing which simple game? Do you think it was decided Portland, Oregon over A, rock, paper, scissors, B, tic-tac-toe, C, a thumb war, or D, a coin toss? Let me know what you think. You can do that aroundtheozarks.com. Bundle up today. It's just going to be another brutally cold weekend. Indoor activities it is for us today, tomorrow, even on Sunday. Keep in mind, we could see some of that winter weather on Sunday night, so make sure you check the website for the weather forecast all weekend long. You can find it at aroundtheozarks.com. I'll be back with you early Monday morning, hopefully not slipping and sliding all over the place with ice in the forecast. Have a fantastic weekend despite the cold weather, and stay warm, everybody.